Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chris Stolle, along with my good friend, co-host of War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast, Mr. John Mark Tolly.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
That's right. We are traveling across the border to a galaxy far, far away. Welcome to yet another audio commentary for Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I was going to say Star Wars episode Rogue One.
What episode Rogue One? I was about to say, I can do it in Dutch, too, if you want me to.
I can't without Google Translate.
I can't really either. I know like a few. I just know like a handful of words, but...
I can curse in Mexican.
Oh.
I worked with some landscapers, taught me some choice words.
What other reason do you learn a different foreign language for than that?
Where's the bathroom? That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, we're going to go ahead and do our audio commentary for Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Now, before we get started, John, go ahead. Why don't you start us off with what you thought of this film, and especially how it sits within the franchise?
I would say it's up near the top of one of my favorites of the Star Wars movie. I think it's just an amazing movie. Of the new ones, it's definitely my favorite of the new ones. Like the three new ones that we've had so far. I think it's a great war movie. I mean, forget that it's Star Wars, forget that it's, science, sci-fi, fantasy, whatever you want to call it. It's just a great war movie. I like the tone that it took, the kind of darker tone and the more kind of realistic tone. And like I said, it's just one of my favorite of all the movies. I put it in the top 3, maybe even top 2 for me.
Okay, but I'm right there with you. I think it falls right underneath the Empire Strikes Back for me as far as like favorite, least favorite movies. They're like with all the new films. There's something I can nitpick, but it's very minor. And really, it's not even Lucasfilm or Disney's fault or Kathleen Kennedy that I nitpick it. It's more of a personal preference nitpick. Things like, we'll get it more into detail when we're watching the film, but like things like the no crawl really, really irked me. But
well, see, for me personally, I didn't mind that because I think that sets it apart from the episode movies, the ones that are in the whole saga, that are in the saga. I consider these, they're still part of the Star Wars universe, but I consider them kind of separate in a way, the same but separate. So I think that was a way to kind of say like, okay, these are different. These aren't going to be part of the episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think, not putting the crawl on there was a good way to kind of separate those movies. But again, that was just, those are just personal preferences between the two of us.
Right. There was a lot of things I loved about it. I loved the callback nostalgia of a lot of the things. A lot of things that people complained about, of course, I actually enjoyed. Like, I liked the transformation of Saw Gerrera, which again, we'll go into more detail as the movie progresses. And, of course, what made it number 2 of all time in the films was that last 2 minutes.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Guys, let me go ahead and give you a quick spoiler warning right now. We are going to be commentating throughout the whole entire film. Now, what that means is we're going to give you our unprofessional opinions and views and little side things that we heard about or whatever the case may be as the film goes on. But on this video, you will not hear or see any of the movie. This is intended for you to turn on and listen to our commentary as you watch your own copy, whether it's on Netflix, whether it's a digital copy, whether it's a Blu-ray. We'll tell you exactly where we started the video at, what time we started at, and you guys could just, have us follow along with your journey if you want. Or obviously, don't listen to us. Just go watch your own film. But there will be no audio or video because YouTube are assholes and they'd like to, well, so is Disney. They're a little stingy with their money. Can't imagine why.
I know, right? And the last thing either one of us wants is a beat down by a mouse.
No, and
we don't want. Give me your money! Give me your money!
He's doing that enough with Marvel and Star Wars as it is. I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about Infinity War. Anyway, so the long and the short of it is the company just can't afford a lawsuit. So, all right, we are set at 5 seconds in, exactly when the Lucasfilm Limited logo just pops up. We're going to start the movie from there, so we'll give you guys a second to set your stuff up that way. I'm going to give a countdown from 5, and we're going to start this. You ready, John?
I am ready.
5. What's that?
Oh, go ahead.
5,
I'm ready.
4, 3, 2, 1, go. Lucasfilm fade out.
There we go.
Long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Wow. Just the stark opening, it throws you off, but it's really it's something.
I know.
It's something to me that only lasts for like a split second, but it's enough because of the fact that I don't get the fanfare, I don't get the crawl. That for a split second, I'm like, am I in the right theater? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I still, in each Star Wars movie, I still get chills every time I see that long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Oh, yeah, of course. The one thing I will applaud, besides obviously the visuals, is Michael Giacchino, I believe his name is, the composer for this film. It took a while for the music to grow on me, but there is a lot of very much Star Wars feel in it.
Yeah.
And we get introduced to Jin.
Jen. Hey, hold on a second. I got to close some windows here, so.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Keep
going. Okay.
All right. Little Jin Urso grabbing her toys and cat packing up with the family to try to escape the Empire. Now here's your first callback. There's your first callback to Star Wars: The Clone Wars of introducing the first animated character to be crossed over into the Star Wars live-action universe, Saw Gerrera. They did find the right little girl with the big front teeth. Now, I love these guys, the Death Troopers. There's something about them that's just phenomenal.
All right, sorry about that, guys.
That's all right. Just talking about how I love the Death Troopers.
Oh, yes. I will say the one, I guess you could say, plot, like, I know why they did it, but I've seen a lot of people make jokes about with the plot hole of why they landed the shuttle so far away from the house when they could have just landed it right next to the house and not done that. I mean, I know they did it for dramatic reasons, but it still is kind of funny when you have this whole huge land. They could have just landed the shuttle right next to the house and ended the movie right then. But
yeah, but I agree with the same video you watched. I agree. That was also for an intimidation effect. It was along the lines of, we're the Empire, we're here, you can't escape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the
and plus it looks cool.
Yeah, that was the arrogance of director Krennic.
Yes. So where would you rank Krennic as far as Star Wars villains?
I like him. I mean, I'd put him up there. I would actually put him above like Dooku, because he's a lot more fleshed out than Dooku was. And no offense to like Christopher Lee, but I think Krennic was a lot more fleshed out. Like he was an arrogant Imperial officer. He wanted to be looked at as acknowledged for all his accomplishments, no matter if it was somebody else's accomplishments. But deep down, he was a coward.
Yes.
And they worked it out really well. He was overly ambitious, but a coward. And I thought that was really, really well done.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when the movie was first introduced and he was supposed to be the main villain, I didn't think I would like him. I really didn't. I'm like, it's a white dude pretending to be Thrawn. You know, it's really what I was expecting out of Krennic. And instead I got something a lot more realistic, a lot more fleshed out.
Yeah, yeah.
What about you?
And definitely. I agree with pretty much everything you said. I think he's a very fleshed out villain. He seems like he would be, in many ways, he's when I think of an imperial officer who got there not by merit but just by who he happened to be married to, or who he happened to he got to his position not by merit but by kissing up to the right people, by bribing the right people. He's in over his head and he kind of knows it, but he doesn't want. He's trying to fake it till he makes it. Basically,
he's almost General Hux, but done better.
Yeah.
Hux, I'm highly disappointed in, but we can get into that in The Last Jedi, or excuse me, Force Awakens.
Yes, yeah.
But with Krennic, I definitely agree and see that. But if I were to have one critique about Krennic, I wouldn't have made him a director. Like, he's really what I envision a Grand Moff to be. Like, besides Tarkin, you hear about how the other regional governors and Moffs are with their territories, and he's really embodies what I see those Moffs being.
Yeah. I think they did that for later on when you see Tarkin, that the idea that they're not equal, that Tarkin is above him. So they needed to, I think maybe they needed to create a different, rank for him so that they could, make that distinction that, Tarkin is above Krennic in the rank, in the pecking order.
Right.
That they're not equal, that they're not any way the same.
That is possible.
Which I always thought there was a difference between Grand Moff and Moff.
Well, I think there is. I think Tarkin's the only quote unquote Grand Moff.
Moff, yeah, he's the Grand Moff.
And he's the guy basically in charge of all the governors.
Yeah.
So again, it goes back to I would have probably personally
made him a Moff.
Made him a Moff.
Oh, and there's our first look at
Saw. Now a lot of people had issue with Forrest Whitaker as Saw Gerrera because it was so far detached from the Clone Wars character.
But if you watch Rebels, then it makes a lot more. Then you kind of see that growth into what he is in.
But they never showed it in Rebels by the point this movie came out in theaters yet.
That's true.
But I actually liked it because to me it was like, this is a man who fought in the Clone Wars and has been doing the rebellion separatist cell for 20 years, fighting against the Empire. He's become paranoid. He's been watching his back left and right, and he's gone through some, I'm going to call it what it is. He's gone through some shit.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like a natural progression of the character. This is what war does to people.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we got Jin in the cell, Imperial cell.
Yes, with a Corrin.
Oh, yep,
I believe that was this. Yep.
Ring of Caffrine.
Now
that I physically said that out loud, do you think it was supposed to be Ring of Kathleen?
I don't know. Maybe.
I love the fact that it's got the really used world look.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about the Star Wars universe is it looks real. It looks lived in. It looks grimy and dirty.
I won't lie. That part right there where Cassian just walks by the classic stormtroopers, I teared up. I teared up to see the classic armor on screen again.
Yes, that was so.
This was a hard thing for people to swallow.
Yeah, but it makes so much sense in many ways.
Well, see,
showing that.
No, I get what you're coming from. Go ahead.
Yeah, that there wasn't even pardon the pun, but a dark side to the rebellion. That it wasn't just all, fighting for freedom and we're the good guys. That some of these guys had to do things that they may not have been proud of, but.
No, absolutely. I agree with you on that. And I know you and I both know that's how the real world and how war works. But the thing that kind of bugged me about it, which kind of bugs a lot of fans, I guess I could play a devil's advocate on it, is the fact that when Star Wars first came out, one of the appeals of it was good and evil was so clearly defined.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're dealing with the shades of gray.
Yeah.
That there can be heroes on both the good and the evil. That there could be acts of valor as well as acts of violence and criminality.
Yeah.
He literally, call it what it was. He was protecting his mission or otherwise, sure. But he literally just committed cold-blooded murder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's any movie or show when you have such clearly defined where this is this, and never the two shall meet type of thing. I think sometimes you can really box yourself in.
Right.
Not to get off on a tangent, but I think that was one of the problems with Star Trek for a long time was, Roddenberry had such a clear define that the people on the ship, they'll never argue or they'll never get in fights. They're always going to be perfect. And I think, but we can get off on a rant on that later, but.
We can do that when we decide to do commentary to the Star Trek movies.
Yeah, right. There's Bodhi.
I feel bad for Bodhi because he's trying so hard to do the right thing, but again, the stigma of being an Imperial pilot, being a cargo pilot like he was, because he wasn't a TIE fighter pilot, he wasn't an action fighter.
Oh, Wobani. Oh, wait, I'm about to introduce one of my favorite characters.
I was about to say one of the best droids since since HK-47 and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
See, it's fitting too that we're doing this commentary on the first of the standalone films with Solo coming out this month. At the end of this month, it's really fitting to be able to release this right now.
I personally love the kind of banter between the stormtroopers. It seems so real.
Mm-hmm.
Like just talking about just BS stuff. Just
how two people who worked together for a long time would bullshit with each other.
Yeah. And choke slam.
Enter. Welcome K2SO. Yavin 4. Now there was chills when I first saw that card.
Yes.
Especially seeing the Massassi temples.
Yes. And this is the scene that got me when I saw the trailer for it, and I saw them walking through the hangar. I was like, okay, I'm seeing this. This is.
No, with the trailer, I'll admit what got me, like I was going anyway, but what got me was the 2-second shot that you don't even see in the film of the back of Vader's helmet.
Yeah,
when he's staring at the map.
Cool. Yeah, and I like how they didn't try to modernize it. They didn't try to make it, like all high tech and we're getting new things. Like, no, this looks like it was pulled almost directly from A New Hope, like the New Hope set.
But do you get the impression that they built all these props and sets, and then after they got done shooting this scene, they packed it up instead of destroying it like they normally do with sets and all that? They packed up all the machinery and stuff like that because they said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna need it for we're gonna need it for Crate in The Last Jedi."
Yeah, yeah.
Don't destroy this stuff. We're gonna need it.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the idea that they basically didn't use any of the scenes in the trailer in the movie?
It was great, but kind of disappointing. It was disappointing because some of the scenes, like when she's walking to the edge of the bridge and the TIE fighter flies up right in her face, I think that would have been epic to see on the big screen. But what I thought was great is that we had nothing spoiled in any of the trailers.
Exactly. Yeah, I did like that. There was no. Yeah, I hate it when movies do that, when they show like the big scene or a big plot point in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That always.
Well, it's just like, again, like I hate to point at The Last Jedi, but it's the newest movie we had. The trailers of like everybody believing that she was talking to Kylo Ren when she's talking about I'm trying to find my place and all this and everything.
Yeah.
And then the next scene is Kylo putting his hand out, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, she's gonna join Kylo!" And so, like even with stuff like that, like I love the fact that the Disney's playing with people and throwing in red herrings in the trailers.
So, what do you think of the person that got to play Mon Mothma?
She was one of the biggest disappointments about being on the cutting room floor in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
I am so thrilled they brought her back to play Mon Mothma in this.
Yeah.
Because she does. She looks perfectly like the actress that played Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
And even the voice is spot on.
Yeah. And again, fleshing these characters, like in Jedi, Mon Mothma had just a handful of lines, but still, had so much presence. But now, even fleshing out this character a little bit more, and giving her a little bit more, who she is, and even if she's not on here a lot, again, it's still the
Bail,
and there he is, Bail.
That was another great thing. The one thing Rogue One really does is it does connect the classic trilogy with the prequels so well. It shows that yes, the prequels do exist in this universe. Yeah.
Did it get canceled? Is church over? Oh. Oh, wow.
Totally destroyed the swing sets and all the playground.
At the church. Yeah, we had my mom just said we had a tornado here, she thinks. Wow. Yeah. Like destroyed the playground at the church at the church.
Oh wow! Well, luckily it's just a playground and nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. No. Everyone left early. So.
I love the fact of how arrogant K2SO is. Like.
Oh yes.
They never remove the arrogance of the Imperial programming.
I think they're a good fit together too. Him and K2 and Cassian are a good.
I could definitely see a film with these two together.
Yeah.
A standalone of a standalone.
Yes.
You do almost get a kind of a Chewie Han feel out of the two of them.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. You almost wonder if that's what kind of humor that Chewie has when he's talking is kind of the K2.
Probably. I imagine. Yeah. I imagine Chewie looks at Han as an idiot more times than not. Especially when he gets all boisterous and is like, I do too talk my way out of it every time, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's high.
Yes, I did like to call back to the odds.
Yeah. And now we're finally off to Jeddah.
Yes.
When are we getting a standalone film of the guy who stands at the watchtower?
Yeah. Yes. What exactly is it?
He deserves it. Now, see, this is what I mean. Look at the beating this poor man has taken over the past 20 years.
Yeah.
But golly will know the truth.
Gullet!
How'd you feel about Two-Tube?
I didn't really think too much about him, I guess. I mean, to me, it was just another alien that was...
I do wonder what the hell's up with that hair. He was bald when he picked up Jin as a kid, and now all of a sudden he's got like Don King hair.
And
I love this moment right here. You hear Saw breathing in, and just the look on Bodhi's face.
Oh, like he's heard that somewhere, but like he's like, okay, I've heard that before.
The look on, it's not just that. The look on his face is like he's about to piss himself because that sound brought him back to something that's terrifying.
Yeah.
And it to us, the normal Star Wars fans, that's normal. We know what that's referencing. But people that maybe Rogue One is their introduction into Star Wars, is the first time seeing Star Wars, they understand that there is absolute terrification of...
I love this scene.
Of Vader. Oh, yeah, the building of the Death Star.
Oh. Just seeing the classic Star Destroyer, and then it fading and seeing the Death Star there.
All right, here is one point of contention with people. And I'm sorry, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
I love Tarkin in this.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Just it's amazing. A guy who's since been dead, and he's right there.
Yeah.
And like I said before, if they would have kept his face in shadow like they just had right there, he would look perfect. Right here, he looks perfect. It's when you get too much light on the eyes.
Yeah.
Is the only time you could really, really see that he's not really there.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. Yeah, there it kind of looks a little fake, maybe, but... And even...
But when he's in shadow, when you got the shadow in the sunken eyes and all that, like right there, it looks like Peter Cushing standing right there.
Yeah.
And whoever they got to voice him, it was spot on.
Yeah, I think it actually is still Cushing's voice.
No, it was an actor.
It was an actor. See, I thought they did like a computer thing where they were able to loop over.
Well, maybe they auto-tuned a little bit or something just to get some of the inflections. But as far as I understand it was an actor. A little dream back to the fact that Krennic and Ursa were friends.
Yeah.
And see, this is what I mean about heroes being even on the bad side. There he is. It's a memory of when he was part of the Empire, but yet he was still a good father.
Yeah.
And Krennic was still a dick.
Yeah.
You can just see it in the background as he's rolling his eyes. Now, have you heard the rumor that a lot of people believe that the reason Jyn has that Kyber crystal and it was given to her by her mom was because mom was a Jedi?
I think I've heard that before. I think I might have heard that. I don't know how I feel, because I personally don't like the whole idea that everyone is somehow connected to the Jedi. I think there should be the Jedi. I like the idea that it could be that they were separate. I don't know. I just don't like everyone being force sensitive and everyone, being a Jedi. It's kind of like the whole thing when they wanted to make a lot of people are wanting to make Finn force sensitive. It's like, no, just let him be his own thing.
Well, see, I agree that to an extent. Like, I think Jedi should be special, but I think anybody from any walk of life can be force sensitive.
Yeah, I like that idea, but I just don't like the idea that that this seems like some people in the fandom want everyone to be a Jedi now. If it's a favorite character, they want them to be force sensitive. Like, they want Han to be force sensitive. They want Finn to be force sensitive, and I don't think not everyone can be needs to be force sensitive.
Right. You got to have normal people in the world too, in the universe too. But
Yeah.
I will argue the point that in this particular movie, we're about to be introduced to two characters, one of which, I don't care what anybody says, he may not be trained as a Jedi, but he's a Jedi.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I know I'm kind of playing spoiler, like waiting for the scene to come, but Chirrut is you can't tell me otherwise. He can't just be a guardian of the will. Now, maybe he's a Jedi dropout. Maybe he's just highly force sensitive, but he's a Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
He's just not formally trained.
Yeah. He doesn't have a lightsaber.
Doesn't need one. He's got that little he's got that little bowcaster thing.
Yeah.
That bowcaster staff. He's good. It wouldn't be Star Wars without a big, ugly CGI creature.
Yep.
Kind of reminds me of the original Navigators in the 1980s Doom movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Well, know the truth. I love that line. To lose one's mind.
Yeah. When I first saw that, I thought for sure that poor Bodhi was dead. Or at least he'd be insane.
Well, that's the thing. Like, again, props to Forrest Whitaker, because you look at the look in his eyes he's delivering those lines. You could see the paranoia, but you can also see the remorse that he feels that he's got to be driven that far.
Yeah.
When he's delivering the line, one tends to lose one mind, it almost looks like Forrest Whitaker's about to cry about what he's about to do.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I liked the callback, but I didn't care for the actor they got to play the doctor right there.
Oh, yeah.
He really doesn't look like him.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the prosthetics that look right, but it was cool for a little callback. Like, hey, they're running off a Jeddah and heading over to Mos Eisley, but
Are you sure? Well, it's almost bedtime.
So they say. Really get an impression of how stormtroopers are bullies.
Yeah.
Do you want your 8 grandma
Enter Chariot.
Yes.
No, why don't you just get up?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's something that's again that almost gives credence to her mother being a Jedi, because maybe it was Galen that took apart the lightsaber and made the necklace for her.
Yeah.
And because he's not Force sensitive, he's a scientist. He may not understand the Force or really the power of the Kyber crystal. Just it came out of a lightsaber.
Yeah.
So it was the power source of the lightsaber.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Here.
It's okay.
That was with your...
Yeah. That's what I was. Sorry.
That's all right.
My mom stopped the movie. Okay. I'm a little bit behind you guys now, I think.
Well, they're setting up for the ambush on the tank.
Yeah, I'm at that. I haven't quite got to the us.
And the grenade just gets tossed out. Boom.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, guys. I know I'm kind of like narrating the scene as it happens, but that was because I was trying to get John caught back up.
Yeah, sorry.
Since he had that little accident. How do you keep your uniform so clean? And the subtlety of that right there, Jyn Erso, for a character that doesn't give two shits about the war between the Empire and the Rebellion.
Yeah.
You know, at this moment and point, and she was willing to sacrifice her life for a little child.
Yeah.
Just in a way, really shows that, like, she was a well-rounded character in the sense that she was designed to be, even though she has no care in the political realm, the Rebellion and the Empire both cost her everything. She never wanted to see innocents hurt.
Yeah.
The guerrilla warfare as they're stealing
Yes.
the Kyber crystals out of the tank.
Oh, there is a.
Oh! Hey, John, I think you turned up your volume by accident or something. You're getting a lot of feedback, and it got very loud on your end. I don't hear you. I don't hear you talking, but I hear your kids' show very loudly. Okay.
All right.
Now I hear you.
Speakers are muted.
That was really weird.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
For some reason, it got muted.
Huh. Did you know that wasn't me?
Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay.
But I did just lose video with you.
Yeah, I know. Hold on, I'll get it back.
Okay. Well, it's no big deal. It's not like we're recording the video anyway.
That's true. That's true.
Ugh, stop right there. Oh, this infamous scene. These are prisoners. Prisoners. Smack. It is confirmed that he caught him in the face with that smack.
Okay. Oh, here we go.
Yep. Do you ever want proof that this guy is a Jedi? Is he deaf? But of course, you know, we talk about he's a Jedi, but let's remember who it is playing the role.
Yeah. Well, it also doesn't hurt the fact that stormtroopers can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Right.
And I like the fact that
the only time they were ever deadly or dangerous was actually episode 4.
Yeah.
And then he just comes in like, I'm a badass with a gun. Clear of hostiles. One hostile. The thing I like about it is there is humor in this movie, even with as dark as it is.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because really, a lot of what happens in this movie is a very unhappy story.
Yeah. My favorite line, one of my favorite lines coming up.
Are you kidding me? I'm blind.
I'm blind.
Take him. It's just an ominous thing to see the Star Destroyer over Jeddah City.
Oh yeah. And then it's leaving.
Yep. You would imagine a thrust would be tearing down buildings, though.
Yeah. I wonder what the people like I know what what's going to happen, but for the people there on Jeddah, who had been used to this thing over their city for so long, probably, and suddenly they see it leaving, were someone like, oh, good, it's gone, or a lot of them like, oh no.
I think it might have been a little bit of both. They might have been thrilled at the idea that the Empire's gone, but then it's like, wait, why are they gone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Most useless jail bars I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's Chewie's grandfather. He's just gone balder. Lumpy. No, Lumpy was the kid.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be Star Wars without some sort of cantina scene.
That's right.
Again, way too much insight for somebody who's just a believer in the Force.
Yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily think he was a Jedi. But
No,
I think he was like a Maz Kanata, where it's like, I know the Force.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely Force sensitive. Very strongly Force sensitive.
Maybe he wasn't discovered by the Jedi Order. Maybe he, like I said, maybe he was, and he was expelled for whatever reason. I would love to dig more into his backstory.
Yeah. And I like the fact that they're kind of in the books too. They're kind of exploring the different Force religions, I guess you could say. That there was more than just the Jedi and the Sith. That there were these other groups out there that followed the Force that weren't Jedi. And
right, the set.
I like, it's not just that they kind of expanded it more. That it's not just, for lack of a better term, it's not just Protestant and Catholic.
Right. Wait, which one's the Sith? Let me put you on the spot there. I know some
whichever ones our lovely listeners are not.
Or whichever ones want to be.
Yeah.
Is it? See that again? It goes back to she has been so hurt by Saw Gerrera and its cause, but also hurt by the Empire so much that she's so resistant into the calling that's like staring her in the face.
Yeah.
But see, that's a powerful line. Like, not just for the way she views the universe, but in reality. These people have been living under the oppression of the Empire for so many years now. But really, how many of them saw it as an issue? Because they'd still moved on with their daily lives. Look at Uncle Owen and Aunt Lars. I'm sure they didn't care for the politics of the Empire, but at the same time, as long as they can get their harvest done in their moisture farm, what did they care?
Yeah.
I do love the fact that he referred to it as a holy city. Which really gives it like gravitas too. Besides the fact that he is still acknowledging the existence of the Jedi Order at one point, it's also like think of the gravitas of it. Like, it's almost like a terrorist organization turning around and targeting the Vatican.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the weight of what he's saying right now.
Yeah.
Does give you a chance to realize how much that Bart Gullet must have screwed with his mind.
Oh yeah.
I love the fact that like everything is perfectly to a T on the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
The uniforms, the recreating the actual sequences they would do in like A New Hope to fire the weapon.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Hmm.
I lied. Shame on you. And there you have it, folks. The most expensive plot hole fix ever.
Yep. Exactly.
The designer is the one who put the flaw in the Death Star that caused Luke to be able to destroy it in Episode 4.
Mm.
And her world just got shattered. It's almost perfect that the Death Star fired right at that exact time.
Yeah.
Like everything she grew up believing and viewing about her father, about the Empire, about everything, just got changed. And while her world and her walls are breaking and falling, Jedah's being destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
There's no horizon. He wanted to. Such a tragic loss. Like a short time in the film that you spent with Saw. But
Yeah.
I personally, I really connected to the character. I thought he was really well done by Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
Slightly morbid statement. Run, run, run. They may not make it this time. You got to watch closely.
Yeah.
Again, a call back to the odds thing.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about the U-Wing?
I was about to ask you that. It was interesting, and it kind of made sense as like a small troop transport ship. It's not my favorite of the ships, but it's okay. It served its purpose in the movie. What did you think of it?
It was cool. It was a cool looking design. I did like the sweep back wings and all, but
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that this is the only time you ever saw it. Like, I get the fact that there's other ships and other quadrants in the galaxy and blah, blah, blah. But with a ship that was designed like that did have a versatility to it, that it had the maneuverability of being a fighter, but yet could be a troop transport, why wouldn't you have that in more service?
Yeah. Well, I can see why they didn't use it in Jedi, because they were wanting to sneak onto Endor, so they're wanting to use a Imperial ship.
Yeah, the Embodied shuttle. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Lambada.
And as far as with on Empire, I don't know. Maybe there you can make a thing that it's not designed for cold weather.
Right.
That doesn't do good. And you can make that kind of retcon with it, that the U-Wing is for temperate and hotter designed for hotter climates. Something like that. So I mean, you can retcon anything. Why weren't the Death Troopers at Endor? Why weren't Well,
I looked at the Death Troopers simply because they were Krennic's personal guard.
Yeah.
They pretty much were killed on Scarif with Krennic.
Yeah.
I would raise that question if we started seeing Death Troopers appear in other movies.
Yeah. Well, and you can also make the argument because you've seen you saw you see the shore troopers here. In Han Solo, we get 2 new Stormtrooper variants. We're going to be getting 2 new Stormtrooper variants, but again,
the
those
Mud Trooper and the
Range Trooper.
Range Trooper, yeah.
Yeah. But again, you can make the argument that those are specialized forces for specialized type of combat in specific,
Right, but with the
type
Death
of
Troopers,
region.
with the Death Troopers, I always looked at them as Krennic's personal guard. To me, they kind of fell along the same lines as Palpatine's Imperial Guards.
Yeah.
Only a very select few even got to wear the armor, and they were just the bodyguards, the Secret Service of that particular person.
Yeah.
The Death Troopers were specifically designed to protect Krennic while he was building the Death Star.
Yeah.
Edu.
Mm.
The pilot. Like, that explains everything. I am Bodhi, the pilot.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people said, like, in this movie, one of their biggest complaints is you really didn't get enough time to delve in and get to know these characters. I disagree.
No, yeah, totally. You think you did, and you got to know them enough of what you needed to know. It's not.
You definitely cared about these characters by the time the end comes.
The end. Yeah. Oh, spoilers.
Well, I didn't say what the end was, just in case this Which I don't understand why you'd be watching the commentary if you've never seen the movie.
It's been what 3 years since this movie came out. I think that the
good guys, has it been that long already? 2 years?
At least 2.
Wow.
Yeah. Because it came out a year after a year before Last Jedi.
Yeah, you're right.
But a year.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Jesus, God.
I know. Time flies, huh?
I'm getting old.
You and me both.
Older.
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, I don't know which one of us is older, but you definitely have a little bit more salt and pepper in your beard.
Yeah. I was October of 77.
January 77, so I'm slightly over you.
Slightly over, yep. But I got the more gray, I guess.
Yeah, but surprisingly with my life, there's supposed to be a commentary about Star Wars. Surprisingly with the way my life is, I'm not grayer than I should be. I believe it or not, every morning I'm looking for it. Get up in the morning.
Luckily I have a wife that likes it. She thinks it makes me look distinguished.
Well, my grandfather used to be the type of guy that would put just for men in his hair and stuff like that, the Grecian and shit, to try to hold on to that look. He tried to hide the gray. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy.
Oh no.
When it's time to be gray, it's going to be gray.
That's right.
Like I always said, the only thing I could see myself ever doing is if I ever started losing my hair, I would probably just shave my head.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want the Hulk Hogan horseshoe.
Yeah. I have a friend. He's got like a long pony. He's got like a long hair, got it in a ponytail, and he's already starting to get kind of a little thing. He looks more like Shawn Michaels, though. He's got the kind of the HBK receding thing going now.
It's kind of funny. Again, I don't want to go too deep into it, but Shawn Michaels was always my favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
And somebody who turned around to me and said, "What happened to him? He used to be cute. Now look at him." It's like he put his body through hell, I guess.
Oh. Well, that's the business, I guess.
That is. That's why I walked away. But there's the end of the U-Wing, at least this U-Wing, because we do have another one appear later on in the movie for, what was it, Blue Squadron?
Yeah. I'm not sure how far behind or ahead of you I am on this right now.
They literally just crashed the U-Wing on Edu. You got Cassian standing outside the ship with a flashlight.
Yeah, I'm at the part where he's back inside. Yeah, he's just put his jacket on.
He just took the jacket off. He's back inside and he just took it off. He's putting the new one on now.
Yeah, that's why. So I'm just like maybe a second behind you.
Yeah.
So not that big.
All right, I'm going to leave them in your capable hands a moment while I go get myself a new drink.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right. So, good shot of Chit. I like the fact that he knows what's going on. He knows what Cassian's about to do. And there goes Jen. Oh, that's a cool scene. X-wings taking off from Yavin. Oh, Batman is back. Oh, nope, he's not. What you doing, girl? And K2. I know this is riveting commentary right now, isn't it? That's a long way up.
Keep talking, John. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay. This is get a real good. Uh-oh. Hmm.
Girlfriend, hurry up.
Lil, you need to eat. And yep, we can't do it. Well, this is kind of awkward. Oh. And then you see the type of man Krennic is. Hmm. What? Yeah. Oh, no, it's fine.
Made it back just in time.
Yes, the assault. Oh.
All right, movie headphone in my ear. Conversation headphone on my ears. I am back. I'm sorry about that, guys.
It's okay. It's all right. They got riveting play-by-play.
There you go.
Yes, and me just kind of sitting there thinking, well, there's the movie.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's
unfortunately, tonight's the night my girl goes down to her parents' house to help them out for the night. And right as I was making myself a cup of coffee to be able to come back to do the broadcast, Dad showed up, and I had to help Jen carry all the stuff out to the car. So that's what took me a minute. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I might have to step away here for a second too. My little girl's getting ready to go night-night, so...
Oh, yeah, go do your thing. I got this.
Yeah, they're putting PJs on her, so... Putting the PJs on her.
They better be Star Wars PJs.
I don't think we have Star Wars. She has a couple Star Wars shirts, but she doesn't have Star Wars jammies yet.
Here it is. He switches his bow around into a freaking caster.
Yeah.
I love it. Again, blind as a bat, but is able to like hear and sense, and you can't tell me he's not a Jedi. Or
no.
He's not Force sensitive.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, you see they're protecting Krennic more than anything else.
Yeah. I love that scene you missed where he finally... Where you get to see like even more of, Krennic. Just how evil he is when Galen tries to save his crew and he slaughters them anyway.
But at the same time, it wasn't because of how evil he was. As that scene right there, as he turned back and looked at the body of Urso, you get the impression that like he still believed that Krennic or Galen was his friend.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of remorse in that.
Yeah.
So again,
I think that would be an interesting story to tell, like for someone to write a book about that relationship of Krennic and Urso.
Well, I think the relationship is probably, Krennic probably looked at Galen as his friend, where Galen looked at Krennic as, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Like probably started off as friends, but in the end it's like, you're my key to helping the rebellion. You're my key to stopping this madness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to use you. And the naivety of Krennic believing that, oh, he'll never betray me and everything else,
Yeah.
Took you long enough to get there.
Yeah.
You had enough time to yell at her, come on. Somebody could have picked him up, or at least put his leg in a comfortable position. See, Baze has got this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Anti-stormtrooper aim to the extreme.
Yes. I want that to be in like the next Battlefront mode. To be like an achievement, anti-stormtrooper aim.
I'm gonna have to look.
In other words, you hit everything.
I'll have to look, but that could be a possibility. Speaking of, did you see the Journal of the Jedi episode where Brian and I actually did it to that game mode that they released for a short time of Ewok Hunt?
Oh no, I have not seen that.
You got to watch that, man. They added some dark, scary. I never thought Ewoks would be scary until you're in a almost pitch black screen as a stormtrooper in the middle of the night in Endor, being hunted by these little bastards. EA, if you're listening, you need to make that a permanent addition to the game because that was a fun game type.
Yeah.
But it was creepy. That's kind of what I want to see in Star Wars, too.
What's that?
I want to see the Ewoks back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me the murder bears. Just don't make them blink. Please don't make them blink. And again, here's a moment in the movie that explains so much of. Like,
hey, can I have some love?
Hey, go give her some love.
Come here. Come here.
As I was saying, like where you see so much similarity between the two characters.
Have a kissy. I love you. Say bye.
Bye, princess. Good night.
There we go. Just kind of messed up the headset there a little bit, but
that's all right.
It's all right. Yeah. If she sees something with Star Wars, she'll go, oh, Star Wars, Daddy, your favorite, Daddy. Star Wars, your favorite. She's more into superheroes right now. That's her. That's her thing.
That was the argument we had on Breaking the Fourth Wall. Which, guys, settle this yourself on the comment section down below. With the success of Infinity War right now, it's going to be the highest grossing movie of all time. It's gonna beat Avatar.
Oh yeah,
that's my personal belief. So he and I were having an argument over what do we think number 2 is going to be this month. Obviously Deadpool 2 and Solo are not going to beat Infinity War in what it's doing.
No.
But by the end of the run, which will be number 2 as far as the blockbusters? Brian still believes it's Solo.
That's tough.
But I'm thinking it's going to be Deadpool just because of the success of Infinity War. Everybody's high on the comic book movies right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The first time we get to see Vader's castle on Mustafar.
Oh, yes.
It is kind of funny how Mustafar kind of calmed down on the lava a little bit, though.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I hear some crying in the background. I might have to...
Go ahead. I got this. Especially because it's Darth Vader. I've got to talk through this. The fact that you do have some of the Emperor's Royal Guards protecting Vader while he's in the Bacta tank. I do love that. It's almost sad that they didn't get Hayden Christensen to actually play this part, even though you don't really get to see him all that much coming out of the tank like that. It's almost a shame they didn't get Hayden just to give him a facial shot in the back of the tank. I think that would have been a cool thing. In the theater where I was in, this is where everybody cheered. Because after 40 years, here comes the man.
All right. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
All right. She stubbed her toe.
Ooh.
She ran in the room and stubbed her toe on the bed. So, yeah, she was...
We could always put her in the back of the tank with Vader.
There we go. Oh.
Yes, this scene.
Yes.
As I said in the theater when I saw this is where everybody cheered. Just after 40 years, here's the man back on screen.
Yes. And James Earl Jones doing the voice, because who else?
That's one of the things I said to Brian with Vader. Is Vader you could do forever, but without the James Earl Jones voice, is it going to be the same?
Yeah. I mean, they've done with other people in like some games and stuff like that, but it's just not.
You could tell it's not Vader. It was fine for a video game, but you could tell it wasn't James.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, it's like you could put anybody in the suit.
Yeah.
I could be in the Vader suit and make it believable with the mannerisms and everything else, but you don't give me James's voice.
Yeah. And
here comes the dad joke.
Yes, I was about to say, Vader's got dad jokes.
Yep.
And anyone who says anything about that, I point you to Empire. And the joke of, apology accepted, Captain Nita.
We would be honored if you would join us.
If you would join us. Yes. Vader was full of dad jokes.
Oh, yeah, he was. See, at first I was against the line, too. When I first saw it in the theater, it took a couple viewings and really thinking about it, it's like, well, that really is Vader.
Yeah, exactly.
He would throw a corny line like that.
Yeah.
Well, technically, you joined an alliance to take on the intergalactic empire. That pretty much is a suicide act, you idiot.
Yeah. It would be interesting to know, like, in just some, background thing, to find out that members of Phoenix Squadron were in there. Somewhere in the background. We don't see them, but they were in that group somewhere.
I would agree. Which, something I wanted to point out, just because in the background next to Bail Organa, we talk about Mon Mothma so much about how the actress looks really good. But look at Dodonna.
Oh, yeah.
The guy they got to play Dodonna. Like, maybe voice-wise it isn't the same, but look-wise?
Very, yes.
They did extremely well in recasting a lot of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
What is she proposing? I envision the English guys in like Robin Hood Men in tights. You gotta be a man to wear tights. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the guy that's like complaining about like suicide pacts and there is no hope, he's Corellian, isn't he? Or is he Alderaan? I can't really tell.
I don't know. That guy? I can't. I can't tell either.
I love the call back to the X-Wing uniforms.
Yeah.
The fact that we have Mon Calamari back in abundance, not just Akbar.
Yeah, not just Akbar.
How many do we need? Behind you.
I love the look of, like, they look like soldiers.
They've seen some shit.
Yeah. Well, not just the look, but even like the like they look like they like almost straight out of Vietnam. Like especially when you see them with the helmets, those look like straight out, Vietnam era.
Mm-hmm. These guys are seasoned vets.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have that faraway look in their eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Good man. We can go.
Can you hear it?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I'll beat that for you. Cassian said I had to.
Yes. I love K2.
As blunt as he is.
I'd say it's hard for me to say that he's my absolute favorite droid because I love Chopper.
Okay.
But I love the murder droid, as I like to call him, but K2 is probably my favorite movie droid from the movies.
Well, as far as the movie's concerned, number one has got to be R2-D2 all the way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, R2 is
but as far as a close second, it's definitely K2. And K2 is in all R2 is my favorite overall in the movies, but my favorite overall droid was HK-47 from Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
I loved calling organic life forms meat bags. And K2 really, really reminds me of HK.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a feeling if they were to go into the Futurama universe that he'd get along very well with Bender.
Oh, yeah. Well, there is now. Rogue One, there is no Rogue One. Well, there is now.
Well, here I am just doing my job.
Yep, just
everyone else.
Telling you, give him his own standalone. He's got to have something important in his life, That poor guy's been standing there for over 40 years.
Yeah.
I love the subtle hint right here.
Yes.
Actually, the double subtle hint. I would trust her with my life.
Yes.
Double shot, Obi-Wan and Leia. But at that point, you're almost like, dude, can't you make a phone call? Don't go back to Alderaan. Don't go there. Don't.
Yeah. But I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't.
No. Just make a phone call.
Yeah.
Look, even though we're giving the commentary, we've been trying to avoid spoilers. But quite honestly, anybody who's seen Episode 4, you know how this ends.
Yeah. That's like people who watch the movie Titanic. When you tell them the boat sank, they get upset.
I did that so much when that movie came out. I was working as a gas attendant at a Sunoco. And people were telling me they were going on date night to go see the Titanic, and I was having a blast saying, "I hate to ruin it for you, but the boat sinks." And the guys would laugh. The girlfriends would get so mad, like you didn't know. Okay.
Yeah. This happened nearly 100 years ago. It's in the history books.
The guys would laugh because they knew I was just being an asshole because screw Leonardo DiCaprio, but. The girlfriends, Why's he got to be such a jerk? Like you didn't know.
Oh, I saw a comedian on Facebook today he was telling a story about something similar that happened, but with Force Awakens. Said he went to see it the first time, and he said really enjoyed it, thought it was really good. And then some friends of theirs called and said, hey, we got some extra tickets, and one of the guys can't go. Would you like to go? And he's like, no, I don't want to go. It's been it's just saw it today. Don't want to watch it 24 hours. But finally got talked into it because his wife said it's a free ticket. It's there, and then one of the guys wanted to pay for it.
Right.
And he said, I normally it wouldn't bother me, but he's like, okay, whatever, I'm here. And all he had on was like $4, so in a credit card. He's like, finally went across the street to get the money, and the guy's waiting across. He said the guy's dressed like Boba Fett, but only half of Boba Fett. Like the top down is Boba Fett, the bottom is cargo shorts, Crocs, and black socks.
Oh God!
So it's like, he said he gets there, and the guy's just being a total jerk to him. And finally, he's like, I'm a nice guy. Finally, I'd had enough, and he's like, "You got my $15?" It's like I'd had enough. So he hands him. He says, "Yes." Han dies.
Oh.
I was like, oh.
Well, dude kind of deserved that, though.
Yeah. When you're wearing half of a Boba Fett costume and the rest is cargo shorts and Crocs. Yeah.
I would have finished it off, though. I would have finished it off. I would have been like, yeah, Han dies, but unlike you, he didn't get poked in the back with a stick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love those. I don't know why, I just love those helmets. They look so much like actual soldiers.
Right. A little less of the oversized suit bowls that they wore, like on Tantive 4.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the callback to it when you at the spoilers at the end of the movie, and you see them throughout the movie too on Yavin.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of while we're kind of got this little bit of downtime here,
right?
I heard a little bit of one of the cast members has been officially named. They had a little interview with him on the Star Wars show for the new Star Wars animated show, Resistance.
Right.
Bobby Moynihan is going to be one of the voices.
Okay.
From Saturday Night Live. He was a former cast member on SNL.
I don't like modern SNL, so that doesn't excite me. But it's Star Wars, so of course I'm excited.
Yeah. And from what I said, he's a huge. What he said, he's a huge Star Wars fan and has a huge toy collection, and so that's one thing I always like is for the people that are going to be doing these things, especially the animated movies, to actually be fans and know the backstory and know what's
Well, think about it. In this day and age, is there really anybody who doesn't like Star Wars? Whether it's the original trilogy, the prequels, the new stuff, is there really anybody alive today that doesn't like Star Wars in some capacity?
I've met a few. But one of them also is doesn't like bacon, so I don't know if they're human.
No, they can't be human.
Yeah, there's got to be something wrong. They're not American.
That's a standardized test right there. If you eat bacon and watch Star Wars, you're all right. You're human. You're living.
Yes.
We are offending so many people right now. And yet I don't care. I love the fact that those the two Guardians of the Wills basically adopted her.
Yeah.
There we go. Clear this stuff out. I heard a growl. It's very funny. I couldn't hear it at first.
I got a bad feeling about...
Okay.
Yes.
What? I don't know. It kind of bothers me that they're playing with that line a little bit too much, the Disney Lucasfilm. Because in this one, they interrupt them in the line. And then in Last Jedi, they have BB-8 deliver it where you can't even understand what the hell he said.
Yeah.
And now it looks like in Solo, instead of it being, I have a bad feeling about this, I have a really good feeling about this.
Yeah.
It's almost it's a stable
What did you
line.
think? Oh, yeah. What did you think about the shuttle, the design of Krennic's shuttle, like how it looked and how they kind of designed it?
I think the people that are designing the ships for Star Wars now has a thing for very long wings.
Yeah.
Like, you could definitely see the callback to the Lambada shuttle design, but at the same time, I'm seeing, like, the design of what will be Kylo Ren's shuttle.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's neat, but it to me, it doesn't feel very imaginative.
No.
I think I got more excited about, like, the new type of TIE fighter that we saw in this movie and, like, the U-Wing.
Yeah.
Than things like Krennic's shuttle. Again, the banter and the callback of the stormtroopers right there.
Yeah, talking about the weapons, talking about their guns.
No, there was the T-15 speeders.
Oh, the speeders?
Yeah, they were having a car conversation, just like they do in the Death Star hallway scene with Obi-Wan in Episode 4.
I thought they were talking about their weapons, about their blasters.
No, they're talking about speeders.
Oh.
So cranky. I love hearing the mouse droid in the background. That looks just so violent.
Yes.
Getting into position. They were very lax on their security detail, though.
Yeah.
But I guess because the planet's shielded and all.
Yeah, they weren't expecting...
I love the look. Like, really?
Oh, you find Purple Lovey.
Light them up.
Boom. Boom.
And the typical clueless stormtrooper.
And
This is a pretty location.
deploy the garrison. The line that would launch 1,000 memes.
Yep.
Again, that reminds me so much of Episode 4 with them running down the stormtroopers running down the Death Star hallway.
Mm-hmm. Troopers on the left. Even the guns, even some of the guns the Rebellion's carrying look almost World War II-ish.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, with the super Star Wars space gun, ray gun feel, but still.
Yeah, very, very realistic, very...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, again, with the shadow on Tarkin, he looks good.
Yeah.
But I think, quite honestly, I think he's the best you're ever going to get as far as, like, creating a CGI character or somebody who once lived.
Sorry, I just love that K2 bopping him on the head.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like just a little bop, but that probably like shoved his spine down his head.
Oh yeah, of course. As old as this guy is, and he's a private. Then a little smile on her face.
Like,
because Admiral Radis is already on his ship going to fight, and that the rebels went to scare.
Yeah.
She got the fight she wanted anyway. See, I hate to say it, because like I said, I hated the fact that they cut her scene from Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
But it's almost perfect that they did do it, because this really is the birth of the rebellion. This is their first victory against the Empire, but this is where the rebellion no longer was just a bunch of separate cells. And now it's a Star Wars film.
Yep.
R2 and 3PO.
With that, Anthony Daniels has been in every Star Wars movie ever made.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that's the final time of Kenny Baker in the R2 outfit.
I believe so, yeah.
I believe not too long after this is when he passed away.
Yeah, yeah. So I wonder if he'll make a cameo in Solo.
It'd be cute, but I don't think I'd want it.
Yeah, I don't know how they would fit. Same with Vader. I don't know how they would fit Vader in.
I could see Vader if you go back in time to, like in the EU, where Han was originally an Imperial cadet.
Yeah.
And I could see Vader giving some sort of commencement speech.
Yeah.
That's the only way I could see Vader being a part of.
Even then, I don't know, because Vader wasn't the, like, I'm going to give commencement speeches. Vader was, like I said before, more the boogeyman. Vader was the guy that, only the higher ups, or, people that, served directly under him, or the higher ups, in many cases, even knew if he truly existed.
Well, it still goes along the lines of, if Vader appeared at all at Solo, it would have to be within passing. It would not, there could not be any type of direct contact.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, suck it, losers. That creature just screamed out AT-ATs.
Yeah.
Carabast AT-ATs. Not AT-ATs. He called out AT-ATs.
AT-ATs.
Yes, we know they're AT-ATs, but you can make a nickname for abbreviations.
Yeah.
I love they did this.
Yeah.
They just cut old footage in just to make those guys be there. I love that.
Yeah.
I popped so loud in the theater when I saw that shit. I'm like, yeah!
Yeah.
Really connected it up.
And I love the new special effect they have for the ships coming out of hyperspace, how they just, boom, appear.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, gradual thing of them coming in. It's like, boom, they're there. Oh, I love one of my favorite craft. Love the X-Wing.
You know what I would love to see more of, though? Like, we see a lot of the A-Wings and the X-Wings and variants of the X-Wings and A-Wings. One of my biggest disappointments in The Last Jedi was the bombers.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it be a variant of the B-Wing?
Oh, I would have loved to see the B-Wing again. Especially after watching Rebels and seeing just how bad, bad in a good way of a ship that was.
Mm-hmm.
I know what they were going for. They were going for your classic World War II style B-17.
Oh, yeah.
Huge, massive bomber. But, yeah, it just...
But you know what? Here you go, Force Awakens complainers. Disney heard your complaints and gave you a space battle.
Mm.
And quite honestly, this is a hell of a space battle.
Oh yes. Yeah. And these battles are, like I said before, are even from like the Clone War, the Clone Wars movie, and um, the battle scenes like in the Clone Wars cartoon and the Clone Wars movies and the prequels. They're so much more realistic. Like the ones there seemed almost like they were taken straight out of like um, the old, linear warfare from the American Revolution, where they would just line up and just start shooting at each other.
Right.
This is much more
guerrilla warfare.
More realistic, more guerrilla, more.
Well, I think it's also camera point of view. Like Gareth Edwards was intelligent, where like
I loved it
in like Empire Strikes Back. You always got it from the perspective of like looking overhead of the AT-ATs. Now we're seeing it from the ground level. Like this is what it looks like if you were standing in front of one. You know what I mean? It's probably a scary ass sight.
Oh yeah.
What are you doing?
Hey, baby. Hey, I'm gonna have to get off here. Okay.
That's fair enough. I will continue us on. Before you get off, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you here?
You can find me on. I'm done here every other week at War of the Stars. You can check me out at my Twitter handle at JohnMarkTolly1 and on Facebook at Mark Tolly. And everywhere else, I'm just all over the place. So.
All right, and I will get this edited and uploaded. I'll let you know when it's available.
All right.
Have yourself a good night, sir.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, unfortunately, we did lose John Mark Tully, but you guys will still have me. I will still get my insights onto this film. There may be some silent scenes just because we're getting to the point where I'm going to want to like watch as well. But like a perfect example is right here. Why does the Empire or Star Wars in general always need to create something that's completely and totally unnecessarily unsafe? I mean, you got a tower information with a consistent fall. Now, I get they have machinery there to grab it and all that, but it's just like having their bridges with no handrails. It's just I don't get the design to some things sometimes in Star Wars. Yeah. Okay, sir, this is what we want from you. We want you to just be thrown around like a rag doll. Nice call back to battles around like Empire or Return of the Jedi. Love the fact that they added those in. And now here comes all the TIE fighter, which seems kind of late after all the damage they've already put in. Such a lot of deliberate scenes. Calling out for Jeddah. Nice call back to the destruction of the Death Star had created. And this is how Luke got his call sign. It just happened to be available. No look shot. Bet we won't see that again. See, there they are there. I forget what they're called, but like the TIE Fighter glider I thought was a really, really cool design. Again, something you never see again. Just having one of those days where nothing's working right. Black Saber. Makes you wonder if they had a detailed file on the Dark Saber. Hey, you, identify yourself. There it is. They got it. Poor K2SO. This was a sad moment right here. Again, because I do think that we got the time to be able to really get to know these characters. And right there, sacrificed himself to save his friends and the mission. Very heroic thing for a droid. You could feel the tension in Krennic. He knows that he's losing control. Run, Bodhi, run! There they are. Like I said, I think they're cool design, but I don't think they're really designed for like space travel. Bye, General. Hell of a fall down. Bespin the Space Monkey. Now you want anti-stormtrooper aim. Here they are. Make sure their uniforms are set nicely. After all these engagements and everything else, you would think they would learn better design. I'd be scared shitless to try this. I would. I wouldn't lie. To jump across like that. Brave, but stupid. Yep, whoop, whoop, whoop. In they walk. Now, if nothing else confirms what I believe about him, it's this part right here. If I'm not mistaken, was Cassian shooting firing a DL-44? Was he shooting a Han Saber gun? That just looks like it hurt. Very sad moment. Very, very touching moment. Again, I don't understand how some of you guys may have looked at it, and I don't mean you guys in general, just some of the fans really didn't feel that there was enough of an emotional impact to the loss of Rogue One. You know, the characters of Rogue One. That we didn't get enough time to really understand these characters and build a emotional attachment to them. I really think we got more than enough. Well, I would love more, of course, but you know, it definitely was impactful with everything they did to make this happen. I don't get why he's looking down into the ground of the planet. And even what Bodhi just did here. The whole mission would have failed had he not done this, you know? Even though that was about the laziest grenade throw I've ever seen. Do it, Maze. It's time to go. Oof. Each shot just looks like it's painful and deliberate. And then a moment of peace in his face. This is a portion I didn't care for. Why did the thing have to be opening and closing like that? It kind of reminds me of like Galaxy Quest, where who would build a hallway like this, you know? One of the coolest uses of a Hammerhead Corvette I've ever seen. Gives you some scale of how high she had to climb. Gotta reset the alignment. This is probably one of the coolest things I've seen in Star Wars right here. Just using a Star Destroyer to cut a Star Destroyer in half. I would even say that that was cooler than the hyperspace cut through the Snoke's ship in The Last Jedi, personally. Again, that's a personal opinion. That's not. I'm not saying that's fact. So don't blast me just because I look at it that way. See, this is why villains need to learn to stop exposition. If he would have just shot, he would have been right. And one of the most important scenes in Rogue One. Let's hope so. All of it be for nothing if nobody was. That's just creepy to think that the Death Star can jump into hyperspace. Realizing they just pulled off the impossible. I know a lot of people were hoping for some sort of romance between Cassie and Jin. I think it had the possibility. It just didn't happen, you know. This logically had to be the way it had to be. Oh, to look down the barrel of your own gun, huh? Poetic irony right there. Whoops. They got the Vader suit so right from Episode 4. Even the red tint in the glass of the eyes. Like, what else do you do at this moment? And technically that's the end of Rogue One. However, it's time. I'm getting antsy now. Because here it is. The greatest 2 minutes of the movie. This right here was worth price of admission. Now, you could argue the point that this was completely fan service, and it probably was. But you know what? I don't care. This is something that all my life I wanted to see Vader do. And it made perfect sense as to why Vader was so pissed off at the beginning of Episode 4. Here it is. And the epic score going on right now. If anybody ever doubted how powerful or how badass Darth Vader was, here it is right here. As Mark said, the galaxy's boogeyman right here. Poof, there goes the Tana V4. And yes, he is standing out in space. Vader just doesn't care. Look at how perfect that set is. This was a scene I wasn't expecting to see in the movie when I saw it. Now, again, I don't have too much of an issue with Carrie Fisher and the way she, or Leia and the way she looks in this. It's not as perfect as Tarkin was in my mind, but it was still best they could do with the technology they had. And that is the end of the film, guys. Thank you very much for watching this with me. I hope you enjoyed the commentary that we gave you. Final thoughts on this movie is, with people really worrying about the nostalgia factor of The Force Awakens with Disney's takeover, this was a refreshing piece of film. Was there some flaws in it? Of course, you know, like the CGI wasn't exactly perfect with Tarkin and Leia. It was fan service in the sense that it, you know, brought back some characters from Episode 4 and, you know, and stuff of that nature. Callbacks to minor characters that really didn't matter, like the guys, I can't think of their names at the moment, the guys from the cantina and stuff of that nature. But overall, I think it was a really, really solid film, and I would be thrilled if they gave Gareth Edwards another Star Wars movie, whether it be a saga film or another standalone. I think he would do an excellent job. I was extremely satisfied with this film. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and comments down below. I'd love to read them and hear what you guys think. You can find me, of course, anywhere there is Realm of the Mist Entertainment or realmofthemist.com. Of course, the Patreon page. Give us some love and support there, as well as our SoundCloud, where you can exclusively hear Breaking the Fourth Wall. Don't forget that we are doing a live show July 21st in Feasterville, Pennsylvania, at the Comic Collections at 83 Bustleton Pike. More details will be coming as the rest of it develops, but that is the slated date. We're going to be there all day with RadioCastFM.com. And, of course, you can find me on Raise the Underground every Monday night from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as I raise the underground, playing all your favorite rock and metal hits. Guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me and the rest of Realm of the Mist that were here. I speak on behalf of all of them. Thank you very much, and may the Force be with you. See you at The Force Awakens.